Today I have a pretty special pickup. I've got a 1936 International. This would have been the year change, the model year change. So this would have been a late 36. This pickup I bought from an estate here in Kansas. It was actually fixed up back in the 80s by an older gentleman, kind of to be a parade pickup and drive the grandkids around and things like that. So it was a amateur restoration, but it was a pretty good preservation of a good original truck. One thing they did do, it is set in the barn. I wasn't the one that pulled it out of the barn. It is set in the barn for several years, and when they pulled it out, it had 4 flat tires. So it looks like they got the fender into something and dinged it up a little bit, and they also crinkled the grill, unfortunately, a little bit. But if you know what you're doing, it should be pretty simple to straighten out. So he started with basically a rust-free truck. I'm sure there's a few dings here and there that have been covered up, but there's no Bondo, covering any holes or anything like that. It was just a good old original Kansas pickup. Really be a great project to start with. One thing I thought was kind of unique, if you're into the global warming thing, it must have used to have been a lot colder here in Kansas before the global warming, because they've got 2 heaters, one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side. And if that's the case, thank goodness for global warming. Pickup shows 76,000 miles, kind of hard to see there. I'm guessing that's probably about right. Let's see if it'll start for us here. Had it set for several years without starting, but we got it fired up here. About every time I start it, I have to tap on the carburetor because it wants to flood. But it actually does run pretty nice. Guessing this was the green diamond engine. There was a green diamond, a black diamond, a silver diamond. I'm not familiar with all of them, but I'm betting the old man that fixed it up was, and he painted it green. As you can see, carries about 30 pounds of oil pressure. We've driven this truck around the yard here. It shifts nice through all the gears, non-synchronized transmission, of course. Not as user-friendly as today's models. The brakes even work. We put some brake fluid in, pumped up the brakes, and they actually work decent. They still need to be bled, but they do work, which is surprising. Floorboard's solid. Above the dash is solid. That's not rust. There's a couple spots where the paint's peeling, but there's no rotten spots in it. It's all pretty solid. Top of the cab's pretty straight. Just a good old truck if a guy wanted a project that he could kind of play with while he was fixing it up, or just do a little bit on the mechanicals and have a daily driver and parade truck as the last gentleman attended. Just a pretty good old International pickup.